Hey, and thanks for joining me today on Changing the Face of Fibromyalgia. I want to talk about a subject that you see go on a lot in the fibro community. I bet you've seen in articles CFS or ME, and you're wondering, okay, really, what does that stand for? What has that got to do with fibro? I'm going to tell you that I do suffer with CFSME, and it's not pleasant. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is, why you have it, why it affects your fibro, and how you can help the situation. Right, so what is CFS? Well, CFS is chronic fatigue syndrome, and it's a miserable thing to have. And if you go to research chronic fatigue syndrome, you're going to see things that say, we really don't know what causes chronic fatigue, really not sure why it goes hand in hand with fibromyalgia, and that just blows my mind because that's not the whole truth. Let's start with some symptoms of chronic fatigue syndrome. When I first started experiencing CFS, I just noticed that I was unusually tired, like all the time. I also started to notice that around 3 o'clock, I was hitting a wall. And by hitting a wall, I mean by 3 o'clock, I was just couldn't keep my eyes open. Then by 7, that usually passed and I got a second wind. And I just contributed it to being an overly exhausted young parent and the stresses of life. And I was tired. I was a tired mom. But then I started to experience the heaviness in my legs. And the best way I can describe that is, you know when kids wrap themselves around your ankle and they like for you to walk them across the room? That's how it felt, but I didn't have the benefit of having a kid wrapped around my ankle. I just felt like I was walking through cement or quicksand and things were just pulling me down to the earth and I just was having a hard time walking. Walking up the stairs, I'd stop in the middle and be like, yep, done. Can't walk up the stairs anymore. I think I'll just sit down right here and live my life on this step. It didn't matter how much sleep I got. It didn't matter if I took a nap in the afternoon. It didn't matter. Every single day I was exhausted, and that exhaustion just built and built and built. And pretty soon I was not even making it out of the bed. I was so fatigued. So what aggravates me about these articles that say we really don't know where it comes from and how it correlates with fibromyalgia. Chronic fatigue syndrome was something that was addressed decades ago in medical school. It really is not taught in medical school anymore, and neither is what you would call also adrenal fatigue. Adrenal fatigue relates to the adrenal glands which sit on top of either one of your kidneys. They're little triangle-shaped glands, and you have one on top of each kidney. And those glands are super, super important to the body. Those glands produce a hormone called cortisol, and cortisol is what helps regulate our stress. Okay, so when we're stressed out, our adrenals pump the cortisol, and it helps the body regulate its stress and calm down. But what happens when the body is under extreme duress or stress, say chronic illness? The adrenals pump so much cortisol they get exhausted, in turn causing adrenal fatigue or chronic fatigue syndrome. How does it go along with fibromyalgia? Well, you know how when you have a great day doing an activity and then you pay for it 2, 3, 4 days in advance, you know, you're paying for it. You're like, oh, well, I went out and had a day with the kids and I'm going to pay for it for a week. Well, that's why. Your adrenals are exhausted and they can't keep up. So you push through your day, and then those following days, you're in the bed paying for it. Now, Adrenal fatigue or chronic fatigue syndrome, some symptoms are headache, migraine, chronic fatigue where no amount of sleep is helping you feel better. You're walking through quicksand, your legs feel heavy, sore throat, swollen lymph nodes, brain fog, anxiety, depression. Those are some symptoms of chronic fatigue. And it is a miserable syndrome to have. And you'll hear a lot of articles say there's really no right cure for CFS and we really don't know what to do about it. Well, I'm here to tell you that that is just absurd. There are things that can help support your adrenals and help you get more energy and help you feel, like you can get through your day better. Before I started colostrum, I was exhausted all the time. I started colostrum and then I started noticing that I was sleeping through the night and I had more energy through the day. Then I started to notice, okay, I'm getting through my day better. I'm not hitting a wall at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm able to get through. Then I started to notice, okay, I'm getting a little bit better, but I'm thinking that my adrenals are still exhausted and they need a little bit more support. So I did ask my chiropractor, I was like, what is the best supplement for me to take to support my adrenals? There's 2 supplements that he recommended. The first one that he recommended was Cortisol Manager, and it's by Integrative Therapeutics. And I loved Cortisol Manager, and it worked great for me. What it does is it helps you calm. So you take it at night before bed, and it helps you get relaxed, not go to sleep, but relaxed so that you can go to sleep. Now, the only thing with Cortisol Manager, please hear me when I say this. If you are on antidepressants, anti-anxiety medications, things of that nature, you may not take Cortisol Manager because it has an herb in it, and I'm going to try to pronounce it correctly, and you may comment below if I do not. Ashwagandha. That is the main herb in Cortisol Manager, and it will mess with your antidepressants, anti-anxiety medications. So please, please, please research what's in the Cortisol Manager and see if that's something that you can add to your regimen. Now, what I take now is something called SAMe, and I love this product. One reason I love SAMe is because this one will not mess with your medications. The one warning they have about SAMe is if you have bipolar medical issues, that you consult with your physician before you take this. The reason why is that SAMe is a mood enhancer and a joint health supplement. It also helps with anxiety and depression and helps increase your dopamine and your serotonin levels. So it supports your adrenals, it helps with mood, it helps balance the chemicals in the brain, helps with dopamine and serotonin. And when I take this, when I'm feeling like, I take it and I'm like, it just is a great supplement. Now, SAMe is something that we already produce in our system, so it's natural, okay? This is not something that the body doesn't produce. It does produce SAMe. However, the older we get, the less SAMe we build in our system. So this is a great supplement. It also helps with inflammation, muscle pain, joint stiffness. It has a ton of benefits. It is worth looking into. So please go check out SAMe. I got this one at Walmart, and any SAMe is SAMe. You don't have to get a really expensive brand, and you don't have to get, the most popular brand. SAMe is SAMe. Now, there are some doctors that say you really should take a vitamin B complex. So B6, B12, and folate, okay, with this because dealing with the heart, like if you have heart issues and so forth. I do not have heart issues. I've been scanned for that. I come back clean bill of health. So my chiropractor said, you know, Sammy is safe. It's safe to take in higher doses as well, and you don't necessarily need the B complex, but I'm throwing it out there to you for you to research it. Now, I take anywhere from 4 to 800 milligrams a day. It depends on my mood. It depends on my pain level. And I will tell you that if I'm having some pain, Sammy has helped reduce that pain. Because along with CFS, chronic fatigue syndrome, you can have muscle pain, muscle stiffness, joint pain, joint stiffness. So you really want to find something that works well inside your body, something that you already produce, but maybe you don't have enough of, and SAMe is great with that. And let me just stress, I am not a medical physician. I am stating this information from my research and my personal benefits with it. I always recommend that you speak to a doctor or your physician about any changes that you make in your regimen. It's important that your doctors know what you're taking, and it's important for you to research anything that you may ingest. So please take the time to do your research. There's some great videos on YouTube about SAMe. There's some great articles out there about SAMe. And I will tell you the benefits are wonderful. So if you suffer with chronic fatigue syndrome or CFS, I highly recommend that you research that as well. See if you have some symptoms that go along with that. And while you're researching chronic fatigue, please research adrenal glands and adrenal fatigue. And you will see that the two go hand in hand, and you'll be able to recognize why those go along with fibromyalgia. So it's not necessarily your fibromyalgia causing those symptoms, it's your adrenals causing those symptoms, and it goes hand in hand. So please make sure you research it. So that's it for the day. Please subscribe to my channel. Help me reach more women and men who suffer with this illness. Help me change the face of fibromyalgia. There's so many out there who are suffering and they need information, and you can help me get that information to them by subscribing and sharing. So I'll catch you next time on the next video. New videos are uploaded every Monday and Thursday. Please take care. I hope you're having a low pain day, and we'll see you next time.